And now it's the time to start the international session. And today is the 1746th day of uninterrupted daily webinar of IFPH. Before beginning the session, let's have a silent prayer. Hello, doctors, friends of homeopathy, and students of homeopathy. Today is the 1746th day of uninterrupted daily webinar of IFPH. And today, our guest is Professor Dr. M.K. Sahani, our Chief Coordinator of IFPH webinars. He is a former CCH member, Scientific Subcommittee Chairman, Scientific Committee Chairman, more than 50 years of meritorious clinical experience he is having. And today, our topic is geopolitical landscape impact on mental health and homeopathic research. Let me welcome Professor Dr. M.K. Sahani, and I welcome you all for the session. Sir,
good evening, everyone. Although I was continuing here with the Hindi session, now I'm again as a presenter now. Now, friends, I'm waiting for my PPT to come. It will be uploaded within few minutes. And then let me share some of the opinion and views regarding the present situations and circumstances. I think you all present in this house are aware of the plane crash at Ahmedabad. And that has impacted the scenario entire country. All over the country, I think it may be all around the world, the people are astonished, excited, and they are waiting for the what next. Now, this situation is prevailing not only this due to this plane crash. Every time when it comes, this type of the situations arises. There are the two things that take place. One is the political scenario, as well as the geographical scenario. And there are the calamities, there are the calamities, there are the earthquakes, there are the pandemics, and so many things are there. So when the two things combines together, pandemic conditions, either they're due to the geographical conditions or due everywhere, the politics are being involved. And with what happens to our mind as a common citizen, what we do, and what is the status of your mind during? Are you remaining silent? Are you feeling that you are well balanced? No. I think almost everyone gets excited, glued to the TV, watching over the WhatsApp, making comments over the at various places, talking to each other, and during this situation, the things that get more worried is that our emotional plane is at the excited level. So when you are remaining in such a excited emotional level, your anger, your fear, your anxiety, everything is getting attached. Everything is getting attached. And with this, what happens to your mental state? What you feel? What you feel with this? What you feel with this? Yes, you are excited, you are upset, you are feared, you are anxious, you are curious, and everything you are there. So this makes us to feel that there are so many things that needs to be understood today. So that's why I have taken this topic of today's geopolitical landscape and our mental health. This is a small research project that I have undertaken. I'm just now getting ready to be uploaded with the PPT. Just share. So now that entire universe is constantly changing, And in the present state of affairs on global level, we observe unstable and unpredictable situations which may come any moment. This unexpected situation uh, do not allow our mind to think peacefully. Thus, mental instability prevails on large scale, uh, la- uh, on large scale. Every time keeping oneself stable has become most challenging factors for our life. This also uh, affects our life both mentally and physically. So, friends, I was just talking to you because this situation is the very important things that we have to consider. And in this presentations, I have tried to compile different aspect of it, and these are the contents that I am going to discuss with you. First of all, I am going to give you the introductions. Thereafter, the geopolitical climate and the relationship between the mental health and the geopolitical climate. Then homeopathy and the mental health crisis, geopolitical impact on homeopathic research. Then case studies, I will give you some. Then integration of homeopathy in public mental health, and then ethical and philosophical reflections, conclusion, and finally the references. So the abstract, the summary is that the geopolitical landscape characterized by the political conflict, migration, crisis, pandemic, climates, climatic change, and economic instability is emerging as a potent contributor to psychological stress and mental health disorders across the globe. These presentations explore how much global dynamics not only escalate mental health challenge but also influence the directions, funding, and acceptance of homeopathic research. As an integrative and patient-centered medical system, homeopathy finds itself at the crossroad of political ideology, scientific skepticism, and shifting healthcare policy. These presentations also analyze current evidence and highlight a strategy for adopting the homeopathic research in a volatile world. Now, there's a beautiful quotations from the George Friedman, who relates geopolitical as broad impersonal forces that constrain nations and compel them to act in their way as dictators, trying to force and make themselves more powerful. Itself reflects the human nature and of increased egotism and dictatorship. So dictatorship, this is very important. We all want to dominate everyone. None of us try to sit on the back front. We all want to say. And with this competitive image, what is the state of the health? And it is being added with the situations that you are facing. Now, there is an eternal landscape beside the human contributions. Using politics as a powerful instrument, geographical landscape is also combined. So both geographical landscape and your politics, they combine together. Every time whenever there is a geographical conditions arises, politicians get involved and they try to encash it for their own benefits, for their own use. So this is the humanity is being compressed between the own egotism and the nature's landscapes. Friends, we have just passed through the war situations that Sindur, and Sindur operations. You all are just recently we all have experienced. Uh, we have just passed through the war situations where terrorism from one country is trying to force other. It has impacted the emotions and of general mass of the people of both the country. Mental health is an essential component of the global health. Yet, often it remains overpowered by more visible physical illness. And people, we do not realize, we do not think we can be, and no one go to the physicians for the mental health. They all go for the physical illness, climate, war, terrorism, economic downturn, turns, political unrest, and global pandemics have has intensified stress, anxiety, and depressions among individuals and communities. These global dynamics are shaping the trajectory of medical research, including homeopathy, which is frequently marginalized in mainstream medical discourses. In this present in this presentation, we shall delve into the multidimensional impact of the geopolitical landscape on the mental health and examine how it affects homeopathy, both as a healing modality and as a field of the research. So this is my area that I am going to discuss with you. Now, despite inheriting ongoing crises and challenges, there surfaced the new heralds the potential for rapid advancement, and nations recalibrate their policies to navigate a shifting international landscape. The effectiveness of this conservative resurgence will be determined in the years to come, but there always stands a pivotal moment offering this possibility of mending fractured alliances, reshaping power dynamics, and empowering emerging and established actors like on the geopolitical stage. Friends, uh, this is another important thing. Uh, we have just witnessed the war and conflict. In this past and also armed conflicts displaced millions, causing traumatic experience and destroy healthcare infrastructure. War-torn regions like Syria, Ukraine, Afghanistan, and part of the Africa are case studies in the mental devastations inflicted by prolonged conflict. According to the WHO 2022, one of the 5 points in post-conflict setting sufferings uh, from a mental disorder ranging from the mild depression to the severe psychosis. Friends, so I'm going to discuss one by one. The mental health impact uh, includes, there are you all are aware of the PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder, then depression, suicidal ideations, then substance abuse, anxiety, and sleep disorders. So these are the impact during the war and the conflicts. Then with the migrations, now you see that there is always at the bordering area of our country, Bangladesh and Bengal, Assam, Meghalaya, and these places, there are always a issue affecting neighboring countries, creating instability in the people living in those areas. But it has effect on entire country also. The International Organization for Migrations 2023 estimates over 281 million international migrants, many of whom are displaced due to the war, poverty, or climatic change. Displacement often results in the breakdown of familial, cultural support esteem systems, increasing vulnerability to the psychological distress. Then another factor is the economic instability and unemployment. Major internal and self-emerging factors are economic instability, unemployment, recession, inflation, and jobs and insecurity have been linked with the elevated rate of the mental illness. Economic precocity lead to the increased anxiety, low self-worth, and even suicide in extreme cases. The COVID-19 pandemic further demonstrated how fragile economic system can affect public mental health. Friends, then political operations and civil unrest. Political operations and civil unrest are another adding factor for promoting mental stress. Constantly, fearfully watching and living in a scenario where authority and governance, censorship, and social injustice create environment where chronic stress becomes the norm. The lack of freedom, constant surveillance, and violence against citizens creates a state of learned helplessness. Learned helplessness. Mind it, the learned helplessness, a known precursor to the no, a known precursor to the mental disorders. Friends, whether it is a climatic change, political polarizations, global war, pandemics, or threat to democracy, it seems like that ground is giving the way under our feet. As we slide into a void, what makes it worse is that all fears are conflicted: climate change, political polarizations, global war, pandemics, and threat to the democracy are braided together. Whereas it is felt that mental stress have no remedial solution, as we homeopath can play great role in managing mental crisis. Homeopathy, with its holistic and individualized approach, is uniquely positioned to address emotional and psychological uh, symptoms, unlike allopathy, which often rules on symptomatic suppressions. Homeopathy seeks to restore a balance at the constitutional level. This is very important things that we can do. Now, insight into our homeopathic philosophy, armed with the mathematica and repertory, we have treasure of remedial solutions for all type of mental disorder, where other systems strive to explore remedy within their pharmacological limitations. Homeopathy has built a multi-dimensional inclusion of everything available in nature, from plant kingdom to mineral kingdom, geological kingdom, and even the disease product itself. This has proved homeopathy to be the most suitable, uh, suitable natural system to deal with the mental, physical, and spiritual crisis at the human civilizations. So you know that I'm giving you some of the remedies that you can think of. Aurum metallicum for deep depression, suicidal thoughts, individual. I'm just highlighting some of them rubrics. You can have many more. Ignatia amara for grief, loss, and emotional trauma. Nectar muriaticum for introversion, suppressed emotions, and chronic sadness. Then arsenica album for anxiety related to insecurity of fear of loss. Lachesis for mood. So not only these, there are every medicines are applicable. These remedies have shown positive results in clinical practice for PTSD, anxiety, insomnia, and mood disorders. Homeopathic organizations, now what our organizations are doing. Homeopathic organizations such as Homeopaths Without Boundaries, Without Border, Society, and associations at every level of national and international are engaged in providing uh, to provide care, and during humanitarian crisis, pandemic, geographical outbreak, have witnessed several services rendered by these selfless organizations. And in our own country, Government of India has, our Ayush department has also done a commendable job under the umbrella of the Ayush Ministry. You may be aware, during the COVID situations, arsenic album was declared to be the first vaccine ever being presented by in the entirmental scenario. Then I'm going to give you what are the challenges for us. First of challenge is mental challenge. Homeopathy as a complementary and alternative medicines often suffer from inadequate funding challenges. While the funding challenges remain a great problem, we observe there are attentions which is now slowly picking up the moment. Yes, there are the right. A 2019 study complementary therapy of the medicines revealed that less than 2% of the global health research fund goes to CAM modalities, including homeopathy. So within 2%, there are other systems of medicines, including homeopathy. Then another funding challenge in rest of the world, there are great apathetic attentions which are heavily influenced by political lobbying and pharmaceutical interest. In the UK, the National Health Service, NHS, stopped funding homeopathy in 2017. In contrast, in our country, in India, National Ayush Mission had bolstered funding for this homeopathic research, especially in the mental health. Then another is the challenges from the scientific bias and the media narratives. Influence of geopolitics is usually denied as what is considered legitimate science in absence of proper scientific evidence and pharmaceutical hegemony. It is often denied. Also, journals are reluctant to publish homeopathic studies due to the perceived low impact, reinforcing a vicious cycle under the research, political and medical narratives, and research attention is more required in this aspect of impact of the health due to the geopolitical influence. We are lucky that we are in India, and our Central Council for Research is doing a very commendable job by having its own scientific journal, research journal that is very much popular over the whole world. Then assets and regulations. Now this is also very prominent point. Homeopathy research has to face more difficulties with the various regions. Trade, embargoes, migrations, and border closure during the political crisis hindered the global movement of homeopathic remedies and knowledge. Regulatory differences also complicate international collaborations in research. Friends, in spite of these challenges, there are fragmentary evidence which used to focus on the influence of geopolitics. The COVID-19 crisis led to the global panic, lockdown, and a spike in mental health disorder. Government were forced to research healthcare models. In our country, Ministry of Ayush had recommended arsenicum album as the preventive, though controversial in Western countries. Studies such as those by Rastogi 2020 reported its potential efficacy in managing anxiety symptoms related to the pandemics. What is the benefit of the COVID lockdown? The benefit was that with this COVID lockdown has proved to be a boon which has saved our lives. But what is the consequence? But made us more sicker and damaging us our mental health. Some of the case studies I am going to discuss now. You may be aware of the recent that happened in 22 until it is continuing, the Ukraine war. There are many evidences which proves that effect of homeopathic principles. Homeopathic organizations in Europe responded by providing psychological support through constitutional remedy to the refugee experience acute anxiety, panic, and the trauma. So this is one of the case studies that we have tried to isolate. And then another is the climate refuge and psychological trauma. In the region, there are few case studies highlight the impact in region like Bangladesh, recurring flood, displaced populations causing psychological distress. NGOs offer homeopathic support um, uh, 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 reports a reduction in the symptoms of despair, anxiety, and insomnia with the appropriate constitutional remedy. Friends, having introspection on the geopolitics influence, we feel that the cost effectiveness and safety of homeopathy, integrating it into the national mental health program can be beneficial. Government need to plan for the or policy integrating funding and collaborations and training uh, are essential to in promoting the integrations of the homeopathic in the public mental health policy. There are needs for encourage cross-border collaborations and publications in indexed journal and incorporating trauma informed homeopathic cares in the medical curricula. So these factors are there: policy integration, funding, collaborations, and the training. These area needs we recommend. Then ethical issues are very important, are required to be maintained while we deal with the geopolitics. Homeopathic, with its patient-centric philosophy, promotes the dignity, empathy, and resilience. Samuel Hahnemann, the founder of homeopathy, wrote extensively about the mental and emotional health on the patient being integral to the healing. This ethos aligns closely with trauma-informed cares. So, in the end, I have the conclusion. Having introspections with these researches, we can conclude the modern geopolitical landscape is reshaping not just border, but economic, but a very fabric of the public health. The mental health crisis, including induced by war, displacement, and socio-political upheavals, demand a multidimensional response. Homeopathy, with its individualized and holistic philosophy, offer a valuable yet underutilized tools in this paradigm. However, without adequate research support, political will, and scientific openness, its full potential still may remain unrealized. There is urgent need to bridge the gap by integrating homeopathy into the global mental health policy, especially in areas ravaged by geopolitical instability. So, with this, I have concluded. I made this research, short study research paper by consulting these references that is shown on the screen. I'm not going to tell you everything. You can read it out. And with this, I'm coming close to my presentations. Before we conclude, we are reminded with Joseph Nye, quote, the national interest is predetermined by geopolitics or the history of country. Import and political leaders never just followed their interest. They were concerned about the interest of their people. Again, more wisdom is hidden in Richard Hardstone quotes, the primary problem of political geography, the analysis of the degree to which the diverse region of the state constitute a unity. So, friends, thank you very much. With this, and to me, it seems a dreadful indignity to have a soulful controlled by the geography. Yes, friends, this is the scenario that we are facing. So thank you very much. If you find any questions, you can share with me right now, or you can write me on my email ID or my YouTube channel or on my WhatsApp number. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Doctor. It was an excellent session. a thing to be pondered, the geopolitical aspects and the impacts on the mental health and its homeopathic research. Whatever the calamity is, whether the war, famine, or anything, where homeopathy needs to be delivered, what it is being delivered in India is very easy. We can find homeopathic doctors, we can deploy, we can educate, we can manage well. But in other countries also, we need this, isn't it, sir? So it's a time to have a discussion upon this.
You are right, Dr. Binduraj. In our own country, we are lucky enough that government is having a separate Ayush department where homeopathy is also taken care of. And we can boast that India is the country where we have the largest infrastructural development for the homeopathy, and it is increasing day by day. There are about 300 homeopathic medical college. There are hospitals. There are the research laboratories. There are the councils to govern the uh, homeopathic educations, govern the researches, and everything is in a planned manner. This is we are just in a lucky. And rest of the world needs to take some message from India so that they can implement this uh, things in their. And the result is that you go to the masses, you go to the rural area. It's mostly where the place where I live in Bihar. I find the rural area, rural belt of Bihar. The people first they have the first choice for the homeopathy. Then another important things that is coming up with the homeopathy is that uh, now with the drug diseases, that iatrogenic diseases, and so many use of the bombardment of the antibiotics, the people are now turning and switching over to the homeopathic system of medicine. Still, still we need the support from the government. So advocacy is very important. The organizations like IFPHV and I feel that IFPH has always been um, instrumental in making an advocacy program for the governments and other institutions through their lectures and through our own efforts. And other organizations are also working, like in our the national organizations of IFPH, IIHP, HMAI, Homeopathic Medical Association of India, the two biggest organizations. They are doing a commendable job in propagating both educations as well as clinical camp, organizing medical camps, awareness program in the schools. This is a continued phenomena that you can see, which is going on throughout the country, everywhere in the country. Whenever anything happens, now you just see the present situations. I have, I see on the WhatsApp that people, homeopaths of the Ahmedabad, they are rushing to the scenario to give the immediate relief to the patient. Although there are no one is surviving except one, but what happens to the family? What is the traumatic state of that family? They need some type of the counseling. They need some type of the consolations to bear the losses they are facing. So this is very alarming situations, and I think homeopathy has stood every time on the top to help the our suffering humanities.
Also, we need to be far-sighted because after this calamity itself, you are mentioning about the Ahmedabad tragedy. That calamity itself, the in the near future also, a lot of cases will be pouring in our place. Also, a lot of persons will be coming, fear of flight, traveling, lot of things. Because our medicines are very much patient-centric. We all know about that. So depending on the person itself, we need to individualize the case, find the exact similarium for the situation. It might vary. And for a situation like this, when a sudden distribution of medicine is needed, we need to find a single medicine and we need to distribute as a whole in the place on that scenario, isn't it?
Sir, what I see for the acute conditions, Dr. Henneman has given a very good solution that you don't have to go to the entire history at the first level. You can take up some of the case studies, say 5, 10, something, prevailing on those area, and taking the common symptoms out of, you can draw a genus epidemicus medicines. And how we have arrived at the arsenic album during the COVID. It was only because based on the COVID, not on the entire constitutional symptoms, only on the genus some few symptoms that were common and which were found among the cross section of the country, and the arsenic evolved as the first. I may not say that arsenic is the only medicines. There may be many more, but arsenic stands first as a first medicine, because whenever nothing can happen, at least we can prescribe arsenic, and thousands of the prescriptions were made all over all part of the country, arsenicum album. Even the government of India has issued a guidelines to use arsenic album as a preventive medicines also. So this has to be done by the authoritative level. It has to be supported by community homeopath, and at every level. Especially our homeopathic colleges, we see they are conducting medical camps, and it is in their regulations also that every homeopathic medical college must conduct regular medical camp. They must adopt village of their area. So you just imagine 300 homeopathic medical college adopting 5 villages every day. How many villages covered? So this is the scenario. I am very much positive. I am very hopeful, optimistic about the homeopathy being. Yet we have the challenges. There are some our oppositions from the big pharmaceuticals company. There are the oppositions from the other system of the medicines, and that we have to place, and they have to prove through our evidence-based studies. Government of India Research Council for Homeopathy, that is CCRH, it is trying to promote, trying to always advise for having a research-based medical practice. And at this IFPH forum, I have also tried to bring all such type of the speakers who can teach us, who can tell us about the methodology for the research-based evidences. And this is my commitment, that I should always try and invite those speakers who can teach us, who can tell us how we can do that. So this is the things that we must take care of.
So from time immemorial, from Dr. Hahnemann itself, these distractions, a lot of persons were against the great movement of homeopathy. So this we need to address also. We need to teach, we need to inform the public what is the efficacy, because a lot of persons won't be knowing about homeopathy also due to some other thing. A lot of persons will be takers of homeopathy. They know well what homeopathy is and what the efficacy is. And in Kerala itself, I am talking from Kerala. In Kerala, is also very much aware of homeopathy, though it's very much, though persons, a lot of persons are aware of that. Apart from that, allopathy rules the place and industries on that. In our scenario also, lot of school children and college students and all adolescent age group persons are being affected by these drug peddlers making these persons their victims. Here also, homeopathy can do a lot of things. What you think about the geopolitical aspects on these things, sir?
Sir, what I see, whenever some situation, this type of the situations arose, right from the Hahnemann's time, I'm not talking about the COVID, I'm not talking about the present scenario. I'm talking about right from the time of Dr. Hahnemann. Whenever there were calamities, cholera outbreak, cholera outbreak, you see our literature shows that homeopathy has demonstrated its efficacy more more beneficial than any other system of medicines. Very few patients were not able to take were not survived, but maximum lives were saved during every type this thing. So this is a trial, this is a test period. I say this COVID emergencies, these are the periods where we can demonstrate our efficacy so that, and it will definitely, it will um, attract attentions. I'm working with one of the allopathic hospitals as a consultant for the homeopathy there. And I am working there for the last 45 years. We have a small department there, seated among the, surrounded by the all allopathic practitioners. They were critics. No, they were not referring patient to us. Rather, we have to wait for the patient to come directly to us. But but recently, I see the patient, the physicians, they also have, they are also coming reluctantly. I say reluctantly, hiding themselves and telling. So, and the first, you have to prove it. I remember, and there is a liver department in our hospital, and lot of the patient of the hepatitis B are attending there. And in that scenario, our hospital, we spoke to our administrator, can we do something with you for this department? Administrator allowed us, and we were allowed to go visit the hospital also. We took some of the cases, and under the consent of allopathic doctors, where they said that they cannot do anything, and we helped them with the homeopathic. So this we have to make a constant effort, sir. Only thing that efforts is very important for us. Constantly trying, survival is the things that is very much important for us.
Also, we need to connect with the NGOs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I am connected with one of the important NGO of the country, that is Voluntary Health Association of India. I was the secretary for that, and I am the president. I was the president for the 2 terms for the Voluntary Health Association of Bihar. And among all the other pathies, I dominated over this scenario for the last 20 years. And still I am the Ayush advisory chairman for them. So, and I am conducting project. And from this organization's objective is to promote the health in the rural area. And we say other NGO, there are more than 200 NGO members. So our BBH is a mother NGO where about 200 NGOs are its member, and they are doing, and we are visiting to them, everyone.
So that's nice. And the second part of the question I asked is about the drug abused adolescent persons. A lot of places it's very rampant now. And that also we can manage with homeopathic medicines.
Definitely, sir. Drug abuse is now one of the main things. Every day or alternate day, we used to see such patients, that young boy, very young boy, being abused by the drugs, conflicted, facing the depressions like scenario, or becoming very aggressive. The parents are very unable to control them and trying to remove the addictions. And we have done, we are trying to help them, and we have helped. We are successful in those areas. But it also needs that we all should have it. We should not get fearful that this is not possible with homeopathy. There was a lecture last few days back, Dr. Bajrang Singh Bhosle. His topic was limitless boundary of homeopathy. Limitless boundary of homeopathy. Very interesting. You can hear in the Hindi session. Limitless boundary of the homeopathy. I agree. The homeopathy has got no limit.
Excellent. And let me welcome Dr. Dhanish to interact. Sir, please.
Thank you, Dr. Bindulaj. Excellent session, Sahani sir. Really motivating session indeed. And you really show how important homeopathy to be implemented in all kind of sessions also. As rightly pointed, Dr. Bindulaj pointed out how drug abuses can be avoided by using homeopathic medicine. Definitely, we can do those things. We are getting a lot of patients in a different way, where sometimes they may come to us as in with the sleeplessness, or sometimes with the dullness, and they are not interested to go to school like that. So in those conditions, when we interact with the child or the parents, then only we may find that the child is having this kind of use from, and they are getting these kind of drugs from their seniors or some of their neighbors, or sometimes they are in the way of some seeds like that. But frankly, I still remember while I was a student at Homeopathic Medical College at Kurichi, I have written. I was able to go through an article in Indian Express, and then I was able to write an article accordingly in favor of homeopathy, saying that we can do the treatment for this kind of drug abuse with our homeopathic medicine in some of, I think some more than some 40 years back. But the thing is that the scenery is same as what we have at some 40 years back or so. So in those days, no homeopath thing in that times, but today it is relevant. So it is high time to implement the importance of this kind of teaching into the students of homeopathy, so that there is a scope for them to flourish in that way of. But in Kerala, we have lot of sessions for in government sector in P for this kind of alcoholic patients for infertility clinic, cancer clinic like that. Sir, what kind of thing are going on in your Bihar? Whether the government is implementing such things for homeopathy in homeopathy hospitals, and is there any such things in government sector?
Doctor. Yes, Dr. Dhanesh. You are lucky that you are in Kerala and you have the government, so much employment facility there. But we are not also lagging behind. In Bihar also, there are the medical officers being appointed, and recently more than 1,000 medical officers were appointed, and another vacancy is now on way, and that is about 700 RBSK doctors. They have applied, and they will be interviewed, and they will be selected. So every time we have the commendable job at the PHC level. Every PHC level, the government of Bihar is trying to have a one medical officer from the homeopathic faculty, Ayurveda faculty, and other faculties there also. So under the one every one PHC, there will be the three medical officers, one from the general medical, one from the homeopathy, one from the Ayurveda. So these three systems are taking part in the PHC. Then government of Bihar, they have made a mobile app where the teachers from the faculty members from the government homeopathic medical college, they attend the patient, and they have to attend. It is compulsory for them and where the patient get consultations, online consultations. So this is the government is very much serious about promoting homeopathy. The infrastructure level, I see there is only one government homeopathic medical college, and now the present ministers have announced to open another government homeopathic medical college. And the infrastructure of the present homeopathic medical college has been renovated by investing more than 10 crores of the rupees. Wonderful operation theaters and hospital things, infrastructure has been done. So things are changing, sir. In our days, when I passed homeopathy in I think it was 1975, many of the people may not be born in those time. And when I passed out, I never thought about having a medical practice. Yeah, sorry, government job, because never know the job at all. Only we have either we can have a teacher or you can have a private practice. So I never thought about the medical job, and I did it unsuccessfully. But nowadays the opportunity are there, and this is one of the drawbacks that I am finding, that the job seekers are entering into our professions, and they are trying to procure the certificates of homeopathy to get the job and earn their livelihood, and they have little. So this has to be. We have to be careful about handling the situation. This is not only in our Bihar but everywhere. Job seekers, livelihoods. This is one of the primary things which is challenging for the homeopathy.
Yes, that is also a geopolitical situation.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, sure.
See, sir, we cannot remove the politics and the geopolitics from our life. It is a part of the life. We are part of we have to think everything, we have to plan everything within the geopolitical situations.
Excellent choice for the day, sir. I'm very glad that both chief coordinators from North India and South India is here, and they were interacting together about these things, and we got a lot of things, and this session will be uploaded the very next day itself, and more persons will be interested to watch, and they will watch, and after that they will share to the friends, and more will be discussed, more will be pondered, thought on this subject, and great selection of the subject. And now it is time to wind the session. On behalf of IFPH, I thank our Chief Coordinator of IFPH, Professor Dr. M.K. Sahani, for this session, wonderful session. And I thank you all who were here listening for this session. Thank you. Have a nice day. And over to Malayalam, Dr. Shaila for the next Malayalam session.